Hey, what is going on, guys? My name is InTheGamerTag and I'm back for your daily Fortnite video. Now in today's video we're going to be looking over Faze Jarvis's new controller settings that he uses of course in Fortnite Battle Royale. We're going to be going over sensitivity settings, miscellaneous settings, keybinds, and dead zones. This way you guys can replicate his settings and try to replicate his game styles to the best of your ability. Now without wasting any time, let's just jump right into his settings. We're going to start the video off with his keybinds. Basically, he uses a custom builder pro, and as most of you know, he uses an Xbox One controller. And also he plays with the claw formation, essentially meaning he uses his right index finger to press his A, B, X, and Y buttons. And that's essentially all you really need to know about how he plays. Now, looking right into the keybinds, there's actually a few changes he has made, and although there's only a few, they are quite unique in of itself. Firstly, is his left analog stick clicked in, otherwise known as L3, is binded to edit. His B, which is circle for PS4, is binded to toggle pickaxe, and then his Y button, which of course is triangle for PS4, is binded to switch mode. And that's the only changes he has in his combat controls. Now for his edit controls, there's only a couple of changes he has made, and basically his Y, which is triangle for PS4 button, is binded to confirm for his edits, and then the left trigger is binded to reset. So that's literally all of his keybind changes he has made. So again, there's only a few, however they are very unique. So once again, to run over them really quickly, left analog stick clicked in is edit, B is toggle pickaxe, Y is switch mode, and then for edit controls, Y is confirm, and then the left trigger of course is resetting his edit. And again, that's all he has changed on his keybinds. And we are now going to hop into the sensitivity settings. Of course, this is extremely important for any player, and after looking at his sensitivity settings, they are quite welcoming. So whether you're a beginner player, an advanced player, or like a pro player, honestly, if you make the change to his sensitivity settings, they should not feel uncomfortable by any means necessary. So starting off with the X and Y sensitivity, his X and Y are both set to a 0.732. So these are quite average. They're definitely not too high to the point that everything's going to feel out of control, and they're certainly not too low to the point that it's going to be hard to keep up with everything. And now of course the X and Y sensitivity essentially refers to free aiming, so basically when you're not aimed down sights with a weapon. What this will affect in terms of accuracy is probably going to more than likely impact your SMG as well as shotgun accuracy, simply due to the fact that about half the time we're using these items in Fortnite, we're not aiming down sights, otherwise known as hip firing. So that's why the X and Y sensitivity is extremely important. This way we can increase our accuracy with shotguns and SMGs. Next is the controller targeting sensitivity, and this is essentially like the contrary to the X and Y sensitivity. Controller targeting sensitivity refers to when you are aimed down sight, so this will affect essentially every item in Fortnite. And his controller targeting sensitivity is actually set to a 0.312, and just like all of his other settings, this is actually quite welcoming. Again, it's nowhere near too high to the point that it'll feel extremely fast and uncomfortable, and it's certainly not too low to the point you won't be able to keep up with players as they're moving and rotating around the map. So again, controller targeting sensitivity for Faze Jarvis is set to a 0.312. Moving on is his controller scope sensitivity, and of course as the name suggests, this refers to any item in Fortnite with a scope, which I believe as of right now is only the snipers, and his is set to a 0.300. Once again, a very welcoming sensitivity. And the next and lastly for sensitivity settings is going to be the controller building and controller edit mode sensitivity. This of course is extremely important, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are really looking forward to this. Now actually his controller building sensitivity is maxed out all the way at a 2.000. Now although this video's premise is to allow you guys to replicate his settings, one huge tip of advice that I can give you guys in terms of upping your building sensitivity to this high is to increase your sensitivity, especially building sensitivity, in small intervals. So don't be going from like a 1.3 building sensitivity or a 1.5 building sensitivity all the way to a 2.000. It is such a drastic change that it will literally be almost impossible to build accurately and efficiently. So what we can do in turn to actually allow us to, increase our sensitivity up to a 2.000 while still maintaining a decent performance in terms of building is again to move in small intervals. So let's say your building sensitivity is at a 1.5. Once you're comfortable with that setting, then move it to a 1.6. Same thing goes, once you're comfortable with that, then move it to a 1.7, and so on and so forth, and eventually you'll reach the point that you're at a 2.000 building sensitivity, and you'll still be able to maintain decent control while building. And the next is going to be the controller edit mode sensitivity, and surprisingly, his is set to a 1.620. I know a lot of YouTubers and general pro players in Fortnite like to have a maxed out edit mode sensitivity, and I believe this is like the first player that I've covered who doesn't have a max edit mode sensitivity. Again, his is set to a 1.620, which personally to me is quite surprising. And we're now going to move into dead zones because I personally feel like dead zones can really directly affect your sensitivity settings, as they're almost kind of like the same thing. Now, of course, dead zones essentially refers to basically if you have a low dead zone setting, then the second you move your analog stick, the game will react quicker and a lot faster. Of course, if you have a high dead zone, then if you move your analog stick, everything's going to feel a lot slower. So essentially using a lower dead zone setting allows you to have a lot more control and overall have a snappier game style. Now, his left analog stick dead zone is set to a 0.10. And then his right analog stick dead zone is set to a 0.08. I strongly recommend these. In fact, I believe I use ones that are quite close to these. And honestly, the reason we want to really focus on our right analog stick is because this is actually what affects essentially everything in Fortnite. It affects your accuracy, your aim, your building, your editing, and everything in between. So those are his dead zone settings. Of course, these will directly relate and affect your sensitivity settings, and everything will feel a lot quicker and snappier. We're now going to hop into the miscellaneous settings. These are going to be the settings below the sensitivity settings. So things like sprint by default, edit confirm on release, and things like that. So hopping right into his miscellaneous settings, starting off with sprint by default. Of course, he has sprint by default on, and the reason he has this on is because, as we know, his left analog stick is binded to edit. So of course, this is the button that originally is used to sprint. So by turning sprint by default on, we're actually able to bind, edit to the left analog stick. And every time he makes a settings video, he always says how important sprint by default is. So I strongly agree with that. Next, he has tap to search or interact on. This essentially allows you to open chest, ammo boxes, supply crates, and revive teammates simply by tapping extra square rather than holding it through the entire cycle. So this is one that really isn't too important, but it is kind of a little bit more easier throughout the game. So the next miscellaneous setting is edit mode aim assist, and he actually has this on, which really surprises me. I've never seen another pro player use this setting, so for him it works. Obviously his edits are amazing, so obviously I can't really go against that. He has auto open doors on, and the main reason is because for players like him that edit a lot, especially like in game, if you accidentally make a door edit rather than like a 3-corner edit, instead of having to reset your edit or manually open the door, the game will allow you to simply just run through it. So essentially allows for you to kind of dodge errors in a sense. Now next is edit confirm on release, and he has this setting off, believe it or not. I know a lot of you guys watching this probably really love this setting, but for him alone, I suppose he'd rather have it off than on. Probably due to the fact that his edits are already extremely fast, quick, and very efficient. He has auto sort consumables to the right on as well. This is probably just due to the fact that he always puts his shields, medkits, bandages, and things like that to the right of his inventory. So this setting alone is actually quite subjective. And then finally, for the miscellaneous settings to mainly wrap up today's video, is his brightness calibration. And his brightness calibration is set to a 0.79 or like a 0.8. And basically the reason he has raised his brightness, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are kind of wondering why someone would do this, it's basically because in dark areas, especially for chapter 2, the lighting overall can be kind of dark in certain scenarios. With a brightness calibration turned up just slightly, it allows you to see things a little bit better, and your overall visualization is improved quite a lot. So that's why the brightness calibration is turned up, and a lot of other Fortnite pro players use this setting. Again, just better visuals overall, and allows you to see things better. And that is essentially going to be all for Faze Jarvis's Fortnite settings. Now, if you made it this far in the video, you're probably a loyal viewer, or at least you should be, so definitely hit that subscribe button. But again, if you made it this far, what I want you to do to show me that you've made it this far is leave a comment saying free Faze Jarvis. Now, obviously Faze Jarvis has been banned from Fortnite indefinitely for just a simple little minor mess up that he had. He was just trying to entertain his viewers by using aimbot, which again literally wasn't harming anybody, and Epic Games overreactively actually ended up banning him indefinitely. So again, if you made it this far, comment in the comment section free Faze Jarvis, and I will heart literally every single comment that you leave. You can leave 10 of those comments, you can leave 1, but if you do, again, leave a comment saying free Faze Jarvis, I will heart it. And that's essentially just a way of me showing my appreciation to my loyal viewers, or at least the viewers that made it this far in the video. Now, if you guys enjoyed today's video or found it helpful, a like would be extremely appreciated. And of course, on the contrary, if you genuinely disliked today's video, then by all means feel free to leave a dislike as well. The button's there, so if you want to use it, then feel free to do so. And also, if you're new around here and would like to see more daily Fortnite content like this on my channel, then definitely feel free to subscribe as well as turning on those post notifications. Nonetheless, my name is Gamertag. Thank you all for watching today's video, and I'll be sure to see you guys tomorrow. Adios.
Thank you.